I'm Margaret in Windsor, and I just uploaded a couple of videos about Elvis Presley, and one of them did not go. I couldn't get it to go up for some reason. Anyway, I have been putting up on YouTube for about 2.5, 3 years now about mind control murders that I had started telling about way back before 1972. They were done in patterns, and I didn't know the mechanism used then. It was only in '75 when I worked for doctors that I become aware of mind control and how it's used to program people to kill or appear to kill themselves, calling it suicide when it's really murder by the person given the command and programming. Now then, I also told about, I wrote about Dr. Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor, who's later his plane went down. He was on the KAL Korean jet that veered into Russian airspace, and the Russians shot it down August the 31st of 83. I had written about him in a medical malpractice book. So I don't want to go, it was about mind control and about the deaths of Warren and Rosina Matthews, who were forensic pathologists at Piedmont Hospital, where Larry McDonald worked. And they were gunned down at the Terrell Mill Estates in Marietta. And I think that was 1976, 77. Anyway, they were dead. And when Cobb County prosecuted it, Buddy Darden, by the way, DA Buddy Darden ran against me and others in the campaign to replace Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor. And I did like Buddy Darden. I thought he was a good DA, and he won it. But it was only to fill the space that McDonald had left. So he didn't run again. I don't know why. But anyway, back to the people that shot Warren and Rosina Matthews. They were programmed. One of them, they even said, the girl was hypnotized, and they told where she was hypnotized, and I know where that is. But anyway, well, it was anyway. Now then, getting off, I want to get to this. I did the book and got a letter from the FBI, and I put all this up and run out of space on the video. A letter from the FBI, June the 23rd of 79, and they almost killed me again, April Fool's Day of 80, and I was illegally taken across the state line, where in the middle of May of 80, I went to work for the district attorney, Fred Simpson, Madison County, Huntsville, Alabama, and passed a background check in the condition I was in. I was really almost killed, and it was horrifying. Now then, that December, I believe it was, the 6th of December, is when, November, I was working there, is when John Lennon, who's British, was shot by Mark David Chapman. So herein is part of the patterns. I'm British, and I'm working for Fred Simpson, who, you're using the Simpson, they are name, as in Wallace Warfield Simpson, was supposed to marry my father, King Edward VIII, and taken him, and they took him out and removed him illegally. That wasn't my father. It was an imposter. My father married Claudia Ruth O'Keefe from Madison, Wisconsin. So therein, it were clues to my identity. And I just didn't know it at the time. I did know the murders were being done in patterns, and I'd put that in the book. So Mark David Chapman was using the name. Mark David Chapman is Mark, my son's name. David's my father's name, Edward VIII, and who married Claudia Ruth O'Keefe from Madison, Wisconsin. Madison County DA Simpson, as in Wallace Simpson, who was supposed to marry my dad and didn't, was a lie. So I put all that up, and I want to go back to writing the book back in 70. This would be 77 when Elvis Presley died. I was living at Moonraker, and at that time, I didn't know until 83 about my real name. So, and who my father is, and I'm Victoria II heir, legal heir to the British Crown. My mom's Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor. So I want to go back to doing the book, which is prior back to 77, Treetop Apartments. Elvis Presley was killed, and I knew then that Elvis was a mind control. And I told it way back then to the media, to anybody who wanted to listen or didn't. And Elvis, of course, was a twin, so I didn't know about my father and the fact that Elvis was always called the king, and they had really taken out my father, the king of England, the legitimate heir, Edward VIII. Then, in the twin, I was brought over to Moulton, Alabama, kidnapped in 41, age 2, given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married at Childers. And Peggy and Carl, the twins, were really dead. Their mother, Lina, had murdered them, born out of wedlock, and the family covered it up. So she would have faced the gas chamber in Alabama at the time. So the brutality and the filth and dirty and all of it, it was so horrible, lack of food, of clothing, of getting beaten, and I'm not going to, I mean, it was awful. So anyway, I was taken there, my identity stolen, so I was given the name of the twin, even though I wasn't. I mean, Peggy and Carl were dead. And I've shown the birth certificates where they just flat marked through the birth date of the twins and inserted, the state of Alabama did, on the birth certificates, illegal. Of course, all of this has been illegal. So the mark through it so it would coincide with the date given me all these years I had used. So now then, Elvis was twin. His twin's deceased, was dead. He's called the king, but there's more to it than that. And then I find out about my dad and names surrounding it and all that. But Elvis, one of the facts is it's other names and synchronicity in it, but it was very important at the time was Ginger. And I could go in trying to make that, and you can't do it on a video, and probably it'd take 3 or 4 books or a movie watching it if anything's ever done about it all. But Elvis was programmed, and the way, all of it, he may have taken prescription drugs. That's not what killed him. So they put a seal on it, and here's where I wanted to jump forward now to my father had a seal put on the illegal removal of my father and kidnapping me, the heir to the British Crown, the legal heir. So a 99-year seal was put on that. That's another seal. And then I want to go back. There was an addendum that my dad had made out legal, that because he always intended to take it back if he could. But they were lying. They were using the doubles to take pictures that were so insulting, and it wasn't even my father, like him riding a bicycle in diapers, and it was awful. And they still gotten away with it. History hasn't been revised or anything, even with me telling it. So anyway, I'm going to lose track now of what I wanted to say, but going back to Treetop Apartment, Elvis was killed August the 16th of 77. And, the seals. And the other seal was on a case that I filed in 75, I guess, and this is part of these murders in writing the book back then. It was filed, and there's a seal put on it, a gag order. And in my divorce from my husband, and this would have been 73, 74, there was an addendum that he actually set up to my divorce. It was supposed to leave me happy. Well, he didn't have anything, at least the way I knew him then he didn't. I really don't know his identity. He worked for the CIA, I later found out. Anyway, I got nothing out of that, but it's the word addendum that you associate, and the seal and all this. Now then, somebody's going to tune me out and say, oh, that's gobbledygook. No, it's not. The murders that have happened, that continued to happen, that's been done in pattern deliberately, because mind control is invisible, and they can mass program armies now. My question is, you don't hear this from any of the politicians sitting up there that are supposed to tell you about